Hey everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes, and tonight we are getting the reveal of the next set of new heroes to get dropped into the game in just a few short days. So, not looking at my screen right now, but my money is on another Tokyo Mirage Session banner. There's a lot of potential options out there, a lot of games that we haven't seen a lot of representation for in recent times. I know Valentia's out there as far as one of the more coveted returning new heroes banners. Alright, so we'll wait for the title to disappear, and there we go. So let's take a look. New heroes join the battle, and it's gonna be... Oh! The Great Wing. This is, Farina? Yes, Farina, okay. So from Fire Emblem, we're gonna be the Lancer, the original Pegasus Lancer, Farina, Hotshot Lance, reposition, attack speed catch 4, snag skill for the B slot. Okay, this was not what I was expecting. Lady of Violets at all, actually.
Despite my upbringing,
Louise.
better than I dance or
So we're actually getting the original version of her in the game, which is great. Rainbow Plus, Rainbow Plus, Oath Skill. Okay,
yeah.
she looks great. I like that. Studious Mage.
My name is Urk. If I'm going to fight, I will show you the true
Urk,
power of magic.
Artist NA. He's going to be an infantry tome user. Rotterfox Plus, and that is a, ladies and gentlemen, is a 4-star focus hero if I've ever seen one.
Don't trouble yourself.
Okay. Another source of Rotterfox is not a bad thing. And we are getting the Mage General. There he is, looking very beautiful. Pent, he is going to be an infantry green mage user, that Wada Sachiko art. Tome of Regle. Oh, he's gonna have the green dual infantry. Gotcha. All right, so we're getting Pent and Louise in the game, as real units now, or as canon units, I guess. So Treachery is going to be new story chapter. Very intriguing there. And what do we have on this map but 2 summoners? Something's afoot here. I don't know. One of them looks like they have an armor smasher, and the other one, I'm not sure. Anyway, we're in for some kind of a ride, that's for sure. Okay. Alright, so starting on the 6th of April and presumably extending for a number of weeks up to a month, Urk is, as mentioned before, going to be the 4-star focus hero of the banner. There is going to be even color distribution on the banner as well, and naturally it is going to have the sparking system in play, I believe, right? Is that what they're showing here with the remainder of the trailer? There was a lot of the video left. There's like 30 more seconds. Is there something else that's... There is more. In addition to a free focus hero, you will get... Oh, is this where they're showing the new currency from the update? I'm guessing? Yes, okay. This is a weird way to debut this system. I think a lot of people were expecting a FEH channel. So this was confirmed in the in-game news, the Celestial Stone system and the Celestial Stone shop, but essentially going to the sparking on one of these banners will grant you a Celestial Stone that you can exchange in that shop for a variety of items, including dragon flowers, forma, and trait fruits. So lots of goodies, so more incentivizing of going up to the sparking. Part of me wonders if maybe they're incentivizing going up to the sparking a little bit more because maybe most of the player base wasn't doing that. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but I would be curious. And you know what? Quite frankly, getting a guarantee and getting a bonus on top of that is very, very nice. All right, well, there we go. Bond of Trust. Definitely not a set of characters that I was expecting, nor a specific Fire Emblem entry that I was expecting for this new hero banner. But glad to see them, nonetheless. Let's go ahead and rewind, take a closer look at their skills, take a closer look at their art, to see if I think that this is a banner that's worth summoning on. All right, so here is the Great Wing Farina. I really do like her art. It's just very bright and lively, I just get that energy from her, which is, again, I think what they're trying to exude with her. I dig the asymmetrical shoulder armor, and overall I think her outfit is an interesting medley of different Pegasus rider outfits that we've seen. I do like the darker theme in general. You got the black more than the standard white, and the skirt design is really neat because it has kind of these larger outer pleats, and then underneath you have this lighter indigo pleat underneath. Pegasus Knight, signature short skirt. You got the high boots. Seems like she's got some coinage in that bag in her hand, and she's pretty excited about it. Pretty bright smile. Yeah, I think she looks great. Let's see what she's got as far as her skills. So Hot Shot Lance, I like the name. 16 Might Lance, accelerated special trigger cooldown, so gonna have a killer slaying effect. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants bonus to all stats during combat based on the number of times unit has been enhanced using dragon flowers. What? 5 or more times grants plus 7. 4 times grants plus 6, 3 times grants plus 5, and 2 or fewer times grants plus 4. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, and the unit has been enhanced using dragon flowers 3 or more times, neutralizes foes' bonuses during combat. Okay, so I mean, it's certainly something we've never seen before, tying one of the conditions for the buff to the number of dragon flowers on the unit. I mean, maybe they're realizing that dragon flowers in and of themselves aren't kind of carrying the day as far as balancing and rejuvenating older units, and maybe they're testing the waters with certain skills and weapons that are enhanced by dragon flowers. What I'm kind of interested to know here is, this is the first time we're seeing it on a weapon, and it's not an inheritable weapon, it's her own unique weapon. I'm wondering if we see actual skills that introduce this kind of mechanic, where you get an enhancement on the basis of the dragon flowers themselves, which would, of course, encourage further investment into the character to really take advantage of specific skills. So I kind of like that idea. I don't necessarily like that tied to this lance, but maybe they're testing the waters a little bit. But I'm getting a little sidetracked here. I think in terms of the lance itself, it's solid. I mean, you got killer slaying effect is always good as an additional effect. And the HP equal to or greater than 25%, we're seeing that a lot now. That is kind of like the new hotness as far as what Intelligent Systems is pushing as one of the conditions. So as long as she has that HP at equal to or above 25%, she gets a minimum of +4 to all of her stats, which is not bad. Like, that alone is not bad. If you don't want to put any dragon flowers on her, she actually gets +4, because 2 or fewer times enhanced by dragon flowers, she gets +4 to all of her stats. That's decent. Now, if you're going to use her, though, on a regular basis, you probably want to give her at least 3 enhancements of dragon flowers, because that's the only way you're actually going to get the following part of the effect of the weapon. So if you give her at least 3 enhancements of dragon flowers, that means you're going to get +5 to all of her stats, and at the start of combat, if she will basically neutralizes foes' bonuses, so all of the activated buffs on the enemy will be completely neutralized. I would say that if you put at least 3 enhancements of dragon flowers into her, then her weapon is solid. It's very solid. If you do less than that, then it's pretty good. So again, that's going to correlate directly to how much you actually invest in her. As a flyer, she's going to want that reposition and take full advantage of the reposition, those best of the positioning assists for flyers. Attack speed catch 4 at start of combat if your foe's HP is 100%, or if penalty is active on the foe, grants attack speed +7 to unit during combat. At start of combat, if foe's HP is equal to 100% and penalty is active on foe, grants an additional attack speed +2 to unit during combat. So the catch 4 skills, allowing a whopping +9 to 2 stats, in this case attack and speed for an offensive flyer. That is perfect, as long as an enemy has full health and a penalty on them, so any kind of debuff on them at all. If they have one or the other, so either 100% HP or a penalty on them, then you get only +7, which is still solid. The catch 4 skills are definitely an excellent A-slot skill, so long as you can guarantee some sort of penalty on the opposing force on the enemy. I would say that that is really the caveat to this skill. If you can't put a penalty on the enemy, then you're probably better off using most other tier 4 A-slot skills. What really sets this apart is if you can reliably set a penalty on the opponent, then you're always at least going to be guaranteeing yourself the +7. at the very least. And then when they're at full health, you get even more, which is when you would want more damage, right? And more ability to double. Attack speed snag 3 on the B slot if a movement assist skill, like reposition, is used by unit or target's unit, inflicts attack speed -6 on nearest foes within 4 spaces of both unit and target through their next actions. And this is going to be excellent for flyer teams where you're going to be offensively repositioning, and at any point, within 4 spaces is a pretty wide range to debuff a unit, and that's going to be perfect for her because that'll allow her to engage and go ahead and take advantage of the condition being met for attack speed catch 4. Attack defense rain 3 inflicts attack defense -4 on foes within 2 spaces during combat. Pretty perfect. That's going to allow her to do more damage and take less damage because it's of the debuff that's on the enemy. So pretty formidable offensive set overall. Hotshot Lance, I'm intrigued by what it does. I think it's absolutely a pretty great weapon if you're willing to invest a certain amount into her. And then ultimately, her game plan is to neutralize the enemy's buffs, also force a debuff on them, and then she'll reap all of the benefits of the debuff on the opponent by utilizing attack speed catch 4 and hotshot lance and those effects, as well as the in-combat debuff of attack defense rain. So we have no shortage of powerful offensive player phase lance flyers in the game. The question is how this sets her apart from her competition, and I think the reliability and consistency with the set of skills, the default kit that she's got, as well as the fact that you can enhance her through the dragon flowers is an interesting mechanic. I am certainly not blown away by what she has to offer here, but at the same time, she is going to be a very capable offensive lance flyer. So that's for sure. Let's keep going. Take a look at her attacking art. It's very cute, clean, modern. I really like the design of the lance itself. You have the orange ribbon that's kind of flowing off of it to provide that sense of movement. I think I would have expected her to continue having that cheerful smile on her face. She looks actually a little terrified here. She doesn't look angry. She doesn't look determined. She just kind of looks terrified a little bit. But you know what? She's going into battle. Got that adrenaline rush. I get it. But again, I like the art here. Clean, bright, colorful. I like the shading. Yeah, it's nice. All right. So here we go. Lady of Violets. And this is going to be Louise. So she is going to be an infantry archer. I like the majestic pink cape that she's got on. It gives her this sense of like presence and prominence. And you have this deliberate asymmetry in her outfit because you have the side braid, which I think is really, really pretty, of her hair. And then you also have the armor on the one side, the quiver on the other side, the belt that's askew off of her hips. And the gloves even. You got the one white, the one brown. She definitely exudes refinement. She's ladylike. She has this gentle, beautiful expression on her face. I think they did a great job with her art. I think she looks fantastic. So
Much better than I dance or sing.
That's much better than she dances or sings. I guess that's a kind of a callback to her the other version that is in the game. Rainbow Plus. Love the name. 12 might. Effective against flying foes, inflicts speed defense -5 on foes within 2 spaces during combat. Okay, so it's kind of employing the rain skills into a bow. That -5 on speed and defense is perfect. Lets the rainbow do more damage. Lets the user more reliably outspeed and double that opponent. It's short and sweet. And quite frankly, if this is tacked on or paired with the actual rain speed defense skill, that just means that there's going to be an in-combat debuff of -10 to speed and defense, and that's not something to bat an eye at. I mean, that's really pretty promising. Is this going to be first in line for inheritance on another bow user? Probably not. I would say there's just a lot of options out there for archers, both for player phase and enemy phase archers out there, and this one is definitely suited more towards player phasing in general. And it's going to suit that role pretty well. And it's certainly a good option to have, but I don't think it's going to be making huge waves or anything. Rally Defense Res Plus for the assist. Grants Defense Res +6 to target ally for 1 turn. Attack Speed Ideal for. Okay. At start of combat, if unit's HP is equal to 100%, or if bonus is active on unit, grants attack speed +7 to unit during combat. At start of combat, if unit's HP is equal to 100% and bonus is active on unit, grants an additional attack speed +2 to unit during combat. Okay, that's interesting. So that is basically the inverse of the catch skills, and so we just saw catch 4. We saw how that goes. And more or less what that means is it's the same kind of thing. As long as you can consistently on your team achieve that bonus on whoever's using the ideal skill is a great option, because basically you're guaranteeing yourself the +7 to those two stats. And then the rest of it is just gravy. You know, if you have 100% HP, you're also going to get +2 to both of your stats. I do like that you have a little bit more control over it, because you can control your HP more than you can control the enemy's HP at any given time, especially with skills or healers or anything else that's involved. So, sustaining specials, whatever you might have. So the ideal skills and the catch skills are kind of two sides of a whole, and it's going to depend on your team composition and what your goals are on which skill is going to work best on your team. Attack speed Oath 3 for the C slot. At start of turn, if unit is adjacent to an ally, grants attack speed +5 to unit for 1 turn. So she gets a nice little activated boost of attack speed +5 to herself as long as she's next to a unit, and that of course will also activate the condition for attack speed ideal 4. I mean, similarly, I think Louise is great as an offensive archer. I think she's set up to do doubles, do a lot of damage, and consistently debuff the enemy. So I think consistent with the banner, Louise has some pretty decent fodder, and I think she's going to play her role very well as an offensive archer, an offensive infantry archer. We do have a lot of archers out there, once again, so there's a lot of stiff competition, but she does have some premium skills here, and certainly she's going to be able to self-fulfill a lot of the conditions that she needs in order to maximize what she does. But again, I don't necessarily see this making huge waves or anything. So let's take a look at Louise's art, her attacking art here.
Yeah.
I like her pose here. Eyes down the sights, locked onto target, ready to fire. It looks like she's doing a little shimmy with her legs, maybe dodging backwards, another attack that was coming her way. From this angle, you do get a better view of under her arm there. With the brown glove that she has, you can now see that it's actually white underneath with the straps keeping it all together. The bow looks really nice here too. Really beautiful, ornate, has that gold plating, and you have the green handle, and the gold and the green really go nicely together. Yeah, I think Louise's art is beautiful and elegant, just like her. Did a great job. Alright, so here is the Studious Mage, Mr. 4-star focus. It's going to be Urk. He is going to be an infantry red mage. There is sort of this young adventurer quality and vibe that I get from him, I guess. Just because everything is a little bit oversized. You have like the big billowing cloak, you have the extra like cuffs, the gloves are large on him. His pants go down to like the tops of his, or right under his knees. You have the larger boots on him, and everything. Again, everything feels a little bit oversized. He certainly looks very serious and studious, as his title implies. And yeah, I mean, again, I think it looks like he's dressed for adventure, but he hasn't gone out yet. Like, it's one of those things where he's all ready to go. He's got his sack ready to take on the world, but he hasn't yet taken a step out there. But it looks good, and I like the gold lining of the actual cloak that he's got as well. It just adds another dimension to what he's wearing. You see that throughout the entire outfit, just kind of hints of this metallic sheen. So let's see what he's got. I mean, again, I wasn't terribly impressed the first time they flashed his skills, but let's take a closer look. So Rodderfox Plus, having access to Rodderfox Plus is not bad in the 4-star pool. Might 12, if unit initiates combat, inflicts attack speed, defense, res -4 on foe during combat. It's pretty good. I mean, overall, in a pinch, the Rodderfox does work very well for player phase mages. Moonbow for the special treats a foe's defense res as if reduced by 30% during combat. For the A slot, speed res solo 3, if unit is not adjacent to an ally, grants speed res +6 during combat. So that is going to increase his tankiness as well as allow him to more reliably outspeed his opponent as long as he is by himself. And speed opening 3, at start of turn, grants speed +6 to ally with the highest speed for 1 turn. Excludes unit. So honestly, not a lot to really get excited about here. I think Rodderfox and Moonbow having more availability of them is never a bad thing. Speed res solo 3, again, that's probably one of the more situational and unique solo skills that's going to be used it's very niche, like for specific builds. Speed opening 3 is, quite frankly, not that great of a skill. I don't love the opening skills. They can be used for certain team compositions that relies on a particular unit to carry, but otherwise I'm not really seeing it. Sorry. Sorry, but let's take a look at his art, man. Again, I don't think, skills aren't everything for sure. If you're a fan of Urk, part of it is going to be his stats and certainly his art, right? And his art is actually pretty great here. You see those flames. This is the special art, so obviously it's going to be a little bit more ornate than his regular attacking art. But you can see that, like, the beautiful flames that kind of extend from his hand and kind of wrap around him. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks pretty nice. So if you're a fan of Urk, you should be happy with that, at least, I would say. All right, and then of course we have the Mage General.
If something out there is guiding.
So, and here is Pent, of course, going to be an infantry green mage. So we have 3 infantry on the banner and 1 flyer. I think Pent's outfit here looks pretty magnificent, like really brilliant, refined, similar to Louise in that respect. Really does have these like soft, refined textures to them. Really opulent design with the purple cloak that's kind of hanging off of his shoulders. You can even see some of the embroidery on his one shoulder on the left side there. The black with the gold, just very dapper, very stylish, going all the way down. He's tall and imposing, looks great. The side ponytail, which is actually very similar to the side braid that Louise has, which makes a lot of sense, of course. I will say that the art feels really small. I don't know if it's just me, or I don't know if it's just because Pent is like very tall, and in order to fit him, they like shrunk him, like the art. But the art itself just seems sort of compacted to me. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but he does feel on the smaller side overall, despite his height. But yeah, he looks great. Very, very handsome. Let's take a look at his skills here. So, Tome of Reglay. It's a 14 might green tome. Grants attack +3. At start of turn, grants special cooldown count -1 to any mage allies within 2 spaces of unit, including unit that has their cooldown count at its maximum value. Oh man, at start of turn, if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75%, grants attack speed +6 to unit during combat. Okay, alright. Okay, so Pent is going to be an excellent tool on a mage team, and any Ether Ray defense that relies on special proccing and things of that nature can certainly utilize Pent in a very proficient way. It's not at start of turn 1, it's at the start of any turn. So at the start of any turn, if allies within 2 spaces are a mage, they get special cooldown count -1. They get 1 extra special charge at the start of that turn, provided that they were at their max value. That provides powerful and deadly support, definitely. And then the second, he basically gets +6 to attack and speed as long as the foe has above or equal to 75% health. So attack +3 and the attack speed +6, they're okay. They're nothing terribly special. It's that middle part that really just kind of carries the Tome of Reglay into being this really deadly asset on particular teams. And bear in mind that I don't think he needs to be... The condition isn't that he has to be near an ally. It's just at the start of any turn, even if he's not near an ally, he himself gets a -1 cooldown charge off of whatever he has. So he has Glimmer for the special, which is naturally a low cooldown special. Boost damage dealt by 50%. And that's going to be a great pick for him because he's going to want to get the insta-charge for his special where he can. Now, let's keep going through his skills. Green Dual Infantry 4. We know all about these skills. The Dual 4 skills are much, much, much better than the Dual 3 skills because they do provide some more stat boosts. +2 to all stats, as well as the +5 to HP, and the convoluted formula for which it calculates the arena scoring. I think they're a necessary evil for arena scoring because arena scoring is a travesty in how it works and how it's calculated. But in order to allow people to use teams that they actually like and characters they actually love, they had to ham-fist these infantry or these dual skills in order to make that happen. And whatever mechanism we can do to make that happen, we'll take it, I guess. For the B slot, Lull Attack Res 3 inflicts attack res -3 on foe and neutralizes foes' bonuses to attack res from skills like Fortify during combat. So the lull skills I think are fantastic. C-Slot, times pulse 3 at start of turn if special cooldown count is at its maximum value, grants attack special cooldown count -1. Okay, so that is pseudo confirmation then. I don't think they would put times pulse 3 on him if it did not synergize with Tome of Reglay. So, bearing that in mind, I would think that both of them happen at the same time, in which case that Glimmer becomes an insta-charge at the start of every turn. So he always starts with a Glimmer. So, yeah. That's an interesting one. So what that ultimately means is that any skills that have that effect, or that peripheral effect on allies, will all activate at the same time. I wasn't sure about that, but this does seem to confirm that. So yeah, I think Pent is going to be very, very formidable on specific team compositions that are centered around insta-charging or quick-charging mages, so that they can run in, flash all of their specials out there, and just and just nuke the enemy from orbit. And I think that is really ultimately the end goal here, and can be heavily utilized on an Ether Ray team or a dual team or an arena team, as the dual skill would suggest. So yeah, that can be scary for a player phase green mage. I think what sets him apart is really the utility that he grants to a team. We have lots of different offensively oriented green infantry mages out there that have their own twists and turns and unique qualities to them. But I think what sets Pent apart is really this additional utility that he grants to all mages on his team. So yeah, pretty awesome. Let's see his attacking art here. Okay, he seems a little bit more properly sized here. I mean, he's like tall and imposing, which I think is great. This is his special art. He looks very calm, serene. I like that he doesn't just have his arm outstretched that a lot of mages tend to have. He kind of has it bowed and has this just brilliant light dancing off of it. This glorious just explosion of green, and the book itself is glowing in his other hand. You have the cape behind him flying up from the force of the spell. Really, really nice. And again, he's looking serene despite kind of the chaos rippling around him. So I think it's great art. And that attacking animation is really neat as well. All right. So again, new story chapter, Treachery. I'm assuming we're also getting a free unit, although he or she is not displayed here. So I don't know who that is, but it should be in the in-game news. So I invite all of you to take a look at your games and tell me who it is. I will know by the time this video goes up, but when has that stopped anybody? All right, well, New Heroes, Bond of Trust. Here we are. I definitely think that Pent is the highlight of the banner, at least from a gameplay perspective. I think that he brings some additional utility that's very powerful to certain team compositions. The rest of them, from a gameplay perspective, I think they have some great skills for inheritance. I think they're going to fit each of their roles very well. It's just stiff competition, and there's not like a ton of things and elements that set them apart in that respect. But I think the art on the banner is great. Like, even the 4-star hero I think is great. Farina is a cutie. Louise is gorgeous. Pent is pretty. So from an art perspective, I don't think you could really go wrong. And if you're fans of these characters, specifically, I think you should be happy with how they handled them. But again, from a skill perspective, I think it's really mostly Pent, or if you're looking for specific skills from the others. I will just note that these are not limited units, so they will be dropping into the regular summon pool. So after this banner leaves, you will be able to summon them at any point. Now, if you are a huge fan of any of these or gunning for any of these characters, this is the opportunity to get a guaranteed copy. So, that is not something that you can really overvalue. That's a guarantee that in a game where there aren't that many guarantees. So just bear that in mind. I think for me personally, I'm going to be using my free summon and my summon tickets, the free tickets that we get through the Forging Bonds event, and just doing some poverty pulls, hopefully to get Louise or Farina. And that's kind of it. Like, while Pent, I think, is the strongest unit on the banner as a whole, he doesn't really fulfill anything for my needs, at least as far as my barracks and the teams that I run. So I think I would rather get one of the other two. But regardless, let me know in the comments below if you are excited for this banner, if you are excited for any of these units in particular, and if you plan on sparking to get one of these units and maybe get some of that new currency for the new shop. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.